I am having technical difficulties. My computer, I don't know if y'all watched the other day, I tried to go live on YouTube and my screen was black. And so I tried again and my screen was black. So then I had to go to StreamYard because I thought, oh my gosh, am I in, YouTube jail? Because I can't go live on Facebook. And so I went to StreamYard and I logged in and I could see me. And I was like, okay, well, StreamYard works. I guess something's wrong with YouTube. And this morning I go to StreamYard and I have no camera. And so I was like, is it the app or is it my computer? Like, what is it? And so right now I'm on my cell phone and my cell phone's not charging. So, wow. Good morning. So I will tell you the closest Apple store, because I have a MacBook, the closest Apple store to me is like Birmingham. And today the center is coming. I have to go pick up my Christmas tree from Ceramics. And Thursday I have to go to Jasper to the Ark, which is um it's DeKalb County of the Ark or something like that. It is like the center. It's people with disabilities, and I'm supposed to take Jack. So when am I going to have time to go to the Apple store? That is $1 million question. So I feel like I can't even see. I'm this big, y'all. I can't even. I feel like I'm going to try to get through this live. I literally can't see anything because it's on my phone. So if you're here for the first time, bear with me because I am having technical difficulties. And if you're just joining me, this morning live is about mental health. It's not about me chit chatting with y'all. So I don't respond to comments, but I have 3 moderators here that can answer any questions that you might have if you're new to my channel. I'm an advocate for mental health because I struggle myself with depression, and I try to I go live in the mornings with one goal in mind, and that's to teach you how to be the best version of yourself. Not that I have all the answers. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a counselor. I'm just Aunt Judy. And I call myself Aunt Judy because I want you to feel at home with me. And I do my best to teach you how I got to where I am today and things, real true stories. None of my stories that I talk in this live are made up. They're all really things that have happened in my life. And I tell you those things simply because I want you to know you're not alone. It's hard for me sometimes to talk about the things that I have dealt with in my life. Um, I'm very open and honest. I'm a very raw channel. Even my YouTube videos that I put out, they're all raw. Nothing is made up. Um, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. And I say welcome to the train wreck because because um every day I wake up, uh my my mind, and I don't know how to explain this, but I'm going to do to the best of my ability because I realize not everyone has a brain like mine. But every morning I wake up, my brain starts spinning. And it doesn't start spinning with positive thoughts. It starts spinning with, I'm not going to say negative. It's more like my mind starts spinning with anxiety thoughts. That's what it does. And most of the time, I can't turn it off. Like, I wish that I had this magic switch to just turn my brain off. But unfortunately, it won't stop. And I don't know if any of you can relate to me, but it's like maybe your brain doesn't do it every morning. Maybe you're able to wake up and drink a cup of coffee and look at the birds outside. My brain doesn't work like that. I wished it did. And through therapy, I've had to try to learn how to turn off my brain. I do not have that mastered. I wish I did. I wish I had the magic touch. I can remember many years ago, I went through a program called DBT, Dialect Behavior Training. And I went to this therapy. It was an outpatient therapy. And I went to this therapy every single, I don't know, Tuesday, let's just say, for over a year. It may have been 2 years. I can't remember exactly. And in the beginning of the therapy, Marsha Linehan is the one that wrote the therapy. She's a very known psychiatrist, and she struggles with bipolar herself. And she wrote this training program to try to help people with mental health. And so I can remember the very first session was the counselor had this crackling candle. And the people that were in the therapy was me and another girl, and that is it. So it was a very intimate setting where it was just the counselor and me and another girl. And the other girl was really young. And this was probably, I'm trying to get my camera right. This was probably, I moved here in 2019. I'm going to say it was in 2019 or 2021. I know COVID was 2020. So it was somewhere, and I was driving an hour to this program every week. That is how much I was running after my recovery. Okay. I'm very serious when it comes to fixing myself. I realize when I have a problem and I go get help, whether it's a medical problem, a physical problem, a spiritual problem, or an emotional problem, I run after recovery. And I'm going to tell you, that's where people get themselves in trouble is they blame their marriage. It's not ever us. It's our marriage, it's our children, it's our spouse, it's our mother. No one accepts responsibility. They think they are the way they are because of someone else. It's because of the way I was raised. It was because I was in an abusive relationship. It was because whatever. Everyone says that instead of going, I got to fix this. I am absolutely miserable within myself. Most people think everyone else needs to run after recovery. They think that, like, I don't know, let's just say their mother's an alcoholic. Well, she needs to go get help. She needs to go get recovery. They never say, I need to go get recovery because I have been brought up in an alcoholic family. They don't think they need help. They think if mother would just stop drinking, all our problems would go away. That's what people think. And I'm going to tell you something. In my opinion, Prior to me running after recovery, I lived a lonely life. I lived with this brain, and I didn't know how to explain my brain because I've lived with this brain my whole life. So I think it's normal. I think it's normal to wake up sad every day, or I think it's normal to have these boosts of energy and then depressed and can't get out of the bed. I think I'm in the bed because my marriage is miserable. Like that's how I've always thought. I've, you know, I'm depressed because I've never had a good marriage. That's how I used to be. That's my thought process. I blamed this loneliness and this sadness that I had on everyone else because I thought I was the way I was because everyone else was such a train wreck. And I lived a very lonely life. And it wasn't until my third husband and I got a divorce. And I told you guys we were married for 15 years. And I thought that me and him would be married the rest of my life. Um, it wasn't until really he stepped out of the marriage and found this young, beautiful girl. And I hit rock bottom and ended up in the hospital. And I found myself a single mother. And I was like, I got to get myself straight. I'm on my own now. I've got to do this financially. I've got to be strong for my kids. Oh my gosh. You know, in 2 years, my son graduates high school. I live in an apartment now. I went from a house to an apartment. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to buy a house one day. How am I going to do this? I'm a train wreck, but I did it for my children. Honestly, that's what made me go, I've got to get it together. I've got to, like, I got to be financially okay. I've got children to take care of. And that's where I hit rock bottom. And so at that point is when I started, I'd always gone to therapy, but I worked a full time job. And, you can only go to therapy so much when you work because you can't take off work all the time and go to therapy. Most jobs don't understand that. And I had to go on medical leave from work and say, I'm sick. I'm sick. I have got to go on medical leave. What do I do? Because I am very sick right now. And I had to go find out, I can't remember what it was called, uh, leave of absence or something. I had to go get help. And when it's mental health, you feel lonely because most people do not understand mental health. They call people with mental health crazy. So I made up this story and told my boss. Now, I had to tell the people that I was filing for leave of absence, I had to, because they got my medical records. So they knew I was in the dang hospital for mental health problems. And so I just lied to my coworkers and my boss because it was embarrassing to go, I'm having a nervous breakdown, you know, because in the past, when I was in high school, uh, is when my depression started. And unfortunately, I in my senior year in high school, I chose to try to, I can't say it on social media because I'll get in trouble, but I made a really dumb decision and took some pills to try to get myself better, if that makes sense. And I found myself in the hospital my senior year in high school. And that is the moment that I got the diagnosis from my family and my friends that I'm crazy. And that diagnosis that people diagnosed me with follows me to this day. So the last thing that I wanted to do is to tell my boss that I'm having a mental breakdown, or my employees that I'm having a mental breakdown, because they would have diagnosed me with crazy as well. And so when you're diagnosed with crazy, you live a very lonely life because you know you're not crazy. Um, it's a lonely place to live. And most people find themselves isolating themselves because you don't know how to explain what's going on in your head, because you honestly feel crazy and you're like, I don't know why I'm doing this. And then you start thinking, you start looking for ways to fix it. And you're like, well, it's because my marriage is unstable. If I could just either get out of this marriage, or if I could uh, fix my marriage and change him, I would be fine. And you start blaming everyone else. Well, I grew up in a terrible family. My dad left when I was a kid. My mom was an alcoholic. You start telling your story. And I'm not saying that none of that affects you, because it does. My dad was an alcoholic. My parents were divorced when I was a young girl. My mother was never home. I raised my younger brother. I mean, it was not good. Not good at all. So I'm not shortchanging the fact that you have a past with the way you are. But the loneliness that I was feeling was, how do I explain that? Like, I can remember when I was married to Robbie, I lived a life that no one knew about. And I'm not going to go talk about that. It's very private. But I was living a life that no one in my house knew about but me. I was going to counseling, and I didn't even tell my counselor what I was struggling with. I lived in the closet. And I came home, and every day that I came home, I was this perfect mother, that did no wrong. And I lived a very lonely, depressing life because I dealt with a terrible marriage in a lonely way. And I can remember it took me years to tell my counselor what was going on with me, because that's how ashamed and embarrassing I was. I lived a very lonely life. Very. And I didn't even really, I mean, I did know I was living a lonely life, but it's like I had lived it for so long that it was almost like it was natural to me. It was natural to be alone in my own head. But a lot of the things about myself I didn't understand, and I thought, I'm just different. Like, I'm just, I will tell you what I was doing. I was looking for the magic pill. Just, I'm depressed. Just give me some medicine and let me feel better. And I would get a medication, and I remember going back, going, it's not working. And then we'd switch medications. And then I'd go on about my way. And then I'm like, it's not working. And she would add another pill, trying to figure out the right cocktail for my brain to quit being depressed, and it wasn't working. There's no magic pill. There's there are pills that help you kind of numb the pain, or uh get you through. I'm not saying medicine doesn't help, because it does, but there's no magic pill. Do you know what the magic pill is? It's for you to run after recovery. It's no different than a diet. If you can't relate to me with mental health, let's just talk about diet. Okay, everyone is looking for the shot, or the pill, or the drop, or the whatever, the magic pill. Oh, like I'll tell you what I have recently done. I will tell you. I have a friend from Stapleton that started selling this. And all you have to do is put 0.7 drop under your tongue, leave it there for 10 minutes, then put 1 milliliter a drop in your on your mouth, and this is the magic pill. These are all natural. This is all natural, and this is going to make you skinny. As a matter of fact, there's pictures everywhere of the before and afters. All you have to do is this. This is the magic. So what did I do? These were $150. That's my answer. I just need something to help me curb my appetite, help me. I just need, once I do it, I'll be okay. So I ordered it and I started taking it, and it did. It curbed my appetite. And I was like, wow, I can do this the rest of my life. Easy, no pill, just put it under your tongue, and it's the magic thing. And I see before and after pictures all the time, and I'm like, that's the answer. That is the answer to my weight control, because I get sugar cravings and I can't stop. That's the answer. And then in my head, I'm like, I did it for a couple of weeks, and then I found myself forgetting. And then I'd be in the car, and during lunch, and I'm like, crap, I don't have the drops. And I just started getting frustrated. I'm like, why can't I just do a simple drop 3 days a week? Like, why is that so difficult? I don't understand. So then I started setting an alarm on my phone to try to help me remember to take the drops. And I was like, stop, Judy. Stop. Stop. And I'm going to tell you what I tell myself. I get caught up in it all the time. I want the quick fix. And in my head, I ask myself, can you do this the rest of your life? And if the answer is no, then why are you wasting your time, your money, and your energy? I cannot afford to pay $150 a month for a drop. I don't have that kind of money. So why do I get sucked in? Because I'm just like you. I'm looking for the magic pill, the quick fix. It's no different from a diet to mental health. Mental health, you're depressed or whatever, you're looking for the quick fix. You don't want to go to counseling every week. You don't want to drive an hour to the doctor every week. You don't want to pay a $40 copay every week. And it's like, but what are you going to do to get better? Because obviously, if you could fix it yourself, you would have not been in this predicament. So what are you going to do? I mean, in my head, this company could go out of business. So how am I going to pay $150 for the rest of my life? So I stopped taking the drop and I was like, well, Judy, you wasted your money again, again, because you were looking for the fix quick. The Yeah, get fixed quick. And in my head, I thought, I know what I have to do. It's not a magic pill. It's not a drop. It's not a shot. It's not any of that. It's what you put in your mouth. It's about control, Judy. It's about control. It's about discipline. But that crap is hard. It's so hard. Discipline. It's about discipline. Your mental health. It's about discipline. It's about going, I need help. It's about not blaming other people. It's about going, I got to fix me. I can't fix the way my spouse is. I have to fix the way I react to him. I have to separate my childhood. I'm no longer in my childhood. I am now an adult still living in my childhood moments. The pain is still so strong. I can't get past it. Well, Judy, you're now 55 years old. Are you going to blame what happened to you when you were 10 years old the rest of your life? It's about discipline. It's about consistency. It's about routine. It's about changing your life. It's not a race. There's no magic pill. It sucks, y'all. I hate to tell you, there's no magic pill to fix any of your crap. It's about consistency. It's about discipline. It's about running after recovery, running after weight loss, running after mental health. And to me, weight loss is part of mental health because every one of us here, we all know it's about what goes in your mouth. There's no magic pill. There's no magic shot. It's about control, controlling your cravings, controlling the food that goes in your mouth. And it is the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life is fixing your crap. And unfortunately, how do I put this? I'm going to be raw. It's never ending. There's never, oh my gosh, I got down to 140 pounds and it's all over. I can just go back to my normal ways. Or I'm going to go to counseling. I'm going to get better. I'm going to go for a year. Aunt Judy said she went 3 days a week for 2 years and all of a sudden she's fantastic. Are you kidding me right now? It's not a race. There's no finish line. We're looking for the finish line. If I could just get skinny, I would be happy. If my husband would just change, I would be happy. If I could just find the right medication, I would be happy. There's no finish line. And I will tell you, for someone, I've never been addicted to drugs. I've never been addicted to alcohol, but I've been in the family of it my whole life. So I've seen firsthand when I've been in the hospital. You're in the hospital with mental health people and also people with addiction. So when you're in therapy, group therapy, sitting and listening to everybody's, like when you're in a group setting and everybody goes around the room, you're listening. And it's like I could see, even with people with eating disorders, they're just, they can't wait for this to be over. They can't wait to be healed. I get it. Unfortunately, if you sat in a group setting and looked at someone, I'm just going to choose an addiction. If you sat in therapy with somebody fresh and new, and you said, you were the counselor, and you said, honey, you're going to fight addiction the rest of your life. It's never going to completely go away. I don't think anybody in the room would go, well, then why am I doing this? If I said to you, if you're like me and you have sugar cravings, if I said to you, you're going to have sugar cravings the rest of your life, you are going to struggle with sugar the rest of your life. It sounds exhausting because it is. If I told you, in order to be skinny or your ideal weight size, you're going to starve. Like you're literally going to starve. You're going to be going to birthday parties in the corner wishing you had a cupcake. That sounds horrible. But I can tell you this. This is this is what is different for me today than, let's just say, 15 years ago. I used to struggle every day, every minute. But now I have a toolbox. And the toolbox is in my pocket because I have to keep the toolbox very close to me. And as I face difficult things like depression or, whatever, cravings, now when it hits me, I have a choice. I'm like, Judy, this is your choice. I'm going to give you an example to try to help you with this. Y'all know that I've struggled with body image, up and down yo-yo at diet my whole life. When I get a sugar craving, this is what I go to, and this is probably disgusting, but I go to raw cookie dough. I'm dying to make cookies, and I don't want to eat them out of the oven. I want to eat raw cookie dough, and I will eat it till I have made myself totally sick. And then after I've made myself totally sick, like I've ate so much cookie dough that I don't even want a cookie when it comes out of the oven. Like that's how much I've gorged myself with cookie dough. I've made myself where I physically feel like I'm going to vomit. And in the moment, I'm not strong enough to go, Judy, you have a tool in your pocket, honey child. Get the tool out of your pocket before you gorge yourself with this cookie dough. I have not been strong enough. There's times when I have been strong enough, but I'm like an addict. I can't just take a bite and stop. It doesn't work like that with me. Like, everything's in moderation, Judy. If I was strong enough to stop myself at one little bite, but I'm not. To this day, I'm not. I'm not. I wish that and it sounds so silly, like cookie dough, raw cookie dough. But yes, that's what I do. And I will make myself sick. So I don't, in the moment, I don't remember that I have a toolbox because the discipline is not there in that moment. And there's times when I can control it, and there's times when like, it's just the discipline and control is just not in the brain at the moment. And then I'm like, I'm just going to have a cheat day. Everybody has a cheat day. That's normal. I'm just going to have a cheat day where I just eat everything that I want. And then the moment I have the cheat day, it turns into 2 days, and it turns into 3 days. And then I can't get back on track. And then the next thing you know, I've gained 25 pounds because I can't get back on track. That is an addict. Sugar is my drug. You'd think I'd have diabetes. Luckily, I don't. But I cannot control myself. So I have to be that person that goes, I mean, I can eat a cookie and stop. But when it comes to ice cream, I can stop at a popsicle. I can eat one popsicle and stop. Even a chocolate, something chocolate, I can stop. But when it comes to like bluebell ice cream or a cupcake in the house or don't, oh God, donuts, no, I cannot control myself. I will eat every single chocolate cream filled donut until I'm about to vomit. And my brain will not, if they're sitting on the counter, I will be out. I've already had two, let's just say, and I'm out in the farm, and my brain goes, oh my God, there's a chocolate cream donut in there. Oh my God, oh my God. And it's just like, just freaking go eat them all, Judy. Just get it out of the kitchen. It's like a drug that doesn't stop. And it's a very lonely life to live. Because do you think that you can go, your husband walks in the door, where'd the donuts go? Oh, dude, I ate every one of them. Well, fatty, I wanted one of those. It's like embarrassing. So you have to turn it into a joke because it's embarrassing to go, I just ate 12 chocolate cream donuts in one day. So then what do? You go hide. Okay, well, I'm going to go to Decatur and I'm going to get me 6 chocolate cream donuts. I'll eat them all in the car and wipe my face, drink some milk to throw out the smell, make sure I don't have any donut crumbs on my shirt. And you're in the car hiding, eating donuts. It's a lonely place to live. When you are living a lifestyle, and you know what? Let's just take it to another level. Let's get off the food subject. Let's get off the addiction subject. Let's get off the depression subject. Let's talk about affairs. When you are stepping outside the marriage, You are living the loneliest life you have ever lived in your life. And you're caught up in this is so much freaking fun. This guy treats me fabulous. He takes me to dinner. He buys me roses. My husband doesn't do crap. All he does is gripes at me. That's all he does. And you love, you have to lie to your husband and say that you're, I don't know, going out with your friends. And you feel guilty when you're in the house, but the moment you get out of the house and away from the kids or the spouse that drives you crazy, you're caught up in the moment of, oh my God, I'm so in love with this man. He is my dream. He is everything that I ever wanted. He's so much better than my spouse. Who are you lying to? Like, why are you thinking that? You're caught up in an addiction. You're caught up in the Cinderella life. You're caught up in something that's not reality. Do you think a marriage will be blessed when you're stepping outside the marriage? And then what ends up happening, because I've been there before, you're caught up and I can't, like, he won't leave me. I mean, like, I try to get out of the relationship, but then I miss him so bad and he misses me so bad that we end up back together. It's like a broken record. We try to break up and then we're back together. Like, I can't get out of it. I don't know what to do. When I try to break it off, I'm grieving terribly. I'm all here to tell you right now, I hate to break it to you, but it's not that person that you're grieving over. It's not that this person is fixing to rescue you. The grass is not greener on the other side. What you're missing and why you keep going back is because you're craving this toxic relationship that's giving you butterflies and excitement and it's making you feel good about yourself. You're caught up in a toxic relationship. You're living a lonely life. I've been there. I don't tell you that out of assumption. I tell you that from straight up experience. I know what it's like to try to stop it, and you can't. And it's because it feels so good. It's exciting. It's fun. It makes you want to eat right and take care of yourself and buy pretty clothes and take care of your appearance. And it's a rush. It's a rush to be in the secret. But when you walk away from it, yeah, you got a giddy feeling about him, but it's not him. You're caught up in a toxic environment. And then you're going to end up leaving your spouse. And you know what? When you marry him and you live with him every day and you share bills with him and you share blended family with him, guess what? The giddiness and the fun, it all goes away and you're back in the same boat that you were in to begin with. So the best thing you can do is run after recovery yourself. Go fix it. Go sit down with your counselor and say, I'm in an affair and he's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I have this feeling and I want to be a better person when I'm around him. And it's a rush for me. Run after recovery. Don't go get in another toxic relationship. You're going to live a lonely life. And it's crazy. You can live a lonely life and you're surrounded by people. And you're thinking, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel so lonely? I have a husband, I have a kids, have nothing's wrong with my family. My husband does treat me well, and I feel so alone. Why do I feel so alone? And I think a lot of times we depend on other people to fulfill our needs. You want your spouse to do certain things, or you want your kids to do certain, like adult kids. I just want them to call me. I just want them to care. I just want them to come around. Dude, they never call. They never come around. I'm so lonely. It's like I didn't even have kids. They don't care about their mother. I mean, you get in this diarrhea mouth, negative, negative, negative. They don't care. They don't call. They don't ever come around and blah, blah, blah. I know they have lives of their own, but they could check on their mother every now and then. People my age and older, we live a lonely life because all that goes away because our kids get their own families and their own lives and their own jobs, and they're trying to do life, and we're an afterthought because they had their own families, their own jobs, and mom and dad are an afterthought. And for us, we're lonely. We long for our kids to spend the night. Tell me, would you not love for all your kids and their spouses and their children to spend the night with you Christmas Eve, and y'all bake cookies and sing carols and look around the Christmas tree and open up gifts, and you to be in the presence of Santa Claus that morning? Would that not make your Christmas? I know it would mine, but life doesn't work that way, and we're lonely. So, how do you fix your loneliness? The loneliness is in your head. You have to run after recovery because the loneliness is in your head. Your kids are there. If you're feeling lonely because your kids never call, it's because you're not busy enough. You're sitting home too much. Go to ceramics. Go to a stained glass class. Go to line dancing. Go to church. Get involved in the senior community. Go feed the ducks at the local park. Go get yourself involved in the animal shelter. Go get yourself involved where you're not sitting around waiting for people to call you. You're not busy enough. And if you tell me that you don't feel like it, that you don't have the energy to do that, go fix it. Go to the doctor. I have zero energy. I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to get off the couch. I don't feel good. You have to, when you run after recovery, you have to be an advocate for your own body. You have to figure your own body out. What is causing you to not have the energy to get involved? Do I need to cut back on caffeine or sugar? Am I not getting enough vitamin D and going outside? Do I need to get off the couch and go walk in the mornings or the evenings? What do I need to do to take care of myself? How do I distract my brain from feeling loneliness that my kids never call me? I feel so alone. Surround yourself with people that are like you. All of us mothers and fathers feel lonely when it comes to our adult children. You're not abnormal, but go get yourself busy. Loneliness is a bad place to be. When you're lonely, you find yourself doing toxic things, shopping sprees, or you find yourself going to a really bad place. I know I do. I don't even know what time it is because there's no clock on my phone. My watch is dead because my phone is not charging. My computer doesn't work. I wonder if this thing will tell me. Somebody tell me what time it is. 7:50. Okay. Um it's depressing to think there's never a finish line. It's a daily walk. But instead of it sounding depressing that there's never a finish line, when you think about a daily walk, that doesn't mean you have to be perfect every day. A daily walk is a daily walk. There's good days and bad days. You don't have to be perfect all the time. You start over all the time. I start over all the time. But that's the good thing about thinking about there's no finish line. It's just that it's a daily walk. God doesn't expect you to be perfect. He made your brain. He knows how your brain is working. I know for me, the morning lives on Monday and Wednesday help me to talk about it because I don't feel alone. I had a lady come to my farm yesterday and she said, Judy, I don't she brought me a gift. Well, she brought me and the animals a gift, and she said, I don't comment, but I watch you live. And she struggles with mental health, and she said, you help me so much because a lot of things that you say, I'm the same way, and I get you. And I know for myself that the biggest thing that has helped me is my farm. My farm has saved my life. And you have saved my life. It's not just the farm. It's the friendships that I've developed in social media are some of the best people I've ever met in my life. The people that show up here on my lives and my replays and that comment on my videos, I've gotten to know them. And every time I see their comments, I look at their name and I smile because they're always there. There is a girl. I don't know if she's going to watch my video. I don't know if she watches every one of them, but she always comments. And when she comments, she always writes a long comment. But I think her name is Janine Woodall or something like that. She has a kid with autism, and every time I read her message, she's always there, and I always wonder about her. And like this past week, there was this girl that was active on my page all the time. As a matter of fact, I don't know how long you've been following me, but she sent me the camera that I use for YouTube. She went out of her way and bought me a camera, and she just went away. And I was like, where'd she go? And I hate when that happens because then I'm thinking, oh, I think the worst, right? When people just stop commenting, I get scared. It reminds me, I guess I have a trigger from Diane because when Diane Wood, which was the lady that used to follow me all the time, and she was one of my she was the biggest Sneeze Farmhouse fan ever, and she quit commenting one day, and I noticed it, and I was like, "Why isn't Diane commenting?" And I messaged her, and she was sick, and she passed away, and I got kicked in the teeth. I was like, "Oh my gosh." I notice when you don't comment. I start I don't always know how to reach out to you. Like I did know how to reach out to Diane, but like this particular girl, she that gave me the camera, I didn't know how to reach out to her, and I was like, "Where did she go?" She just disappeared, and my heart was broken. For the longest time, she just disappeared, and I'm like, "Don't do that to me." And you're not just a follower to me. You're not just a number. I mean, when you are out there, and I don't always know who watches my content because, some people watch me on TV and they don't get to comment, but sometimes they'll write me a letter or they'll write me an email, and then I know they're there. They're like, I'm always there. I'm always there. And I have that stored in my head. I may not see a comment, but they're always there. And that person is so important to me because you don't have to comment all the time for us to be friends. I'm your friend. When I meet you at Petals or meet you through an email or a letter or a card or in person, I remember. And that girl reached out to me this week and she text messaged me, and it was from a number I didn't have stored in my phone. And I was like, "Who is this?" And when she told me her name, I was like, "Oh, where have you been? Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I've been worried sick." And she was like, "You have?" And I was like, "Yes. Don't do that to me." That's what's hard about social media is because I get attached. And then I don't know how to get in touch with you to go, "Where are you? Don't do that to me." Um, I know y'all do the same thing. If there's someone here that's here commenting all the time, like, and you don't tell us you're going on vacation, where's Heidi? Oh my gosh, where's Heidi? And then we start worrying. Oh, my hair's stuck. We start worrying, and then somebody says, "Oh, Heidi went to her daughter's to Florida." Oh, okay, well, good. I was worried why she wasn't here. We worry. If you feel lonely when it comes to friends and family, I'm here to tell you right now, and it makes sense to people that understand and have been here a while. But there is a family right here on Sneed's Farmhouse. And I am the type of person, I mean, no, I can't just sit and talk to every single person on the telephone all the time. I can't. But in our morning lives, the chat room is for you guys to get to know each other. It's not for Judy, it's for you. This is a place that you can come and you're safe. I don't care what you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what you believe. I don't care who you serve. I don't care what your political beliefs are. I love you. And I will tell you that the people that are normally here are just like me. They don't they don't care. They welcome you. You don't have to be lonely. And as the holidays approach, it is important for you to go, what am I going to do? If you don't even do anything else, what am I going to do to take care of myself? Normally during the holidays, I am lonely. So, what am I going to do to take care of myself? And there are a gazillion things you can do to take care of yourself. I know for myself, me giving back, because Sneed's Farmhouse is a nonprofit farm, me giving back helps me. It helps me feel good about myself to know that I've done something good. There's so many things that you can do. Something you don't want to be around people, I tell you, go feed the ducks at the local parks. They're starving to death because people dump them off. You want to be around people, go serve for Thanksgiving. You want to go give your neighbors cookies. It ain't like you got to spend a because go adopt a family for Christmas. There's so much that you can do to take care of yourself, and it doesn't mean that you have to do something necessarily for yourself. And maybe it does mean that you buy yourself something that you've always wanted. Maybe you run after recovery. Go, this Christmas, I am going to be committed. I am going to fix blah about me. I've always hated this about myself, and this is what I'm going to do to fix myself. That is what I call dancing. So today is Wednesday, and you have a choice. Sitting it out is trying to win the race. It's a very lonely place when you try to finish a race. Dancing is taking one step in front of the other and taking things slow day by day. It's not a race. You don't have to be a rock star every day. Allow you allow your brain to listen to your body. But you have to have tools in your pocket to know what your body's saying to you. Like, is it saying, I'm tired? You need to rest. Or is it saying, girl, you rest every day and you're tired because you have no energy because you don't exert energy. You have to pull the tool out of your pocket and break it down, because once you try to figure out what your body's trying to tell you, your brain will manipulate you. You've got to break it down to go, okay, this is what I feel, but why am I feeling like this? Why do I feel lonely? Why do I feel tired? Why do I want to not get out of my house? What is causing me to do these things? Breaking it down, pulling tools out of your pocket, fighting loneliness is going to help you dance. And I'll see you next time. Bye. I hope my phone gets worked. That didn't even